Hi, I'm Evan Pantazi, answering a question today by Jacob McClintock. And he asked the question, and I'll put it below in his exact words so you can see his wording. He asked about all the point setups and the cycles that we used to use and how we made them work. And in the beginning, it was more of a learning curve. You got to remember that Kyusho wasn't really around in the public eye for quite a number of years. I mean, centuries probably, because it disappeared back in the earlier days. I mean, it was just one instructor would hand it down to one student, or a favorite student, or a family member, or a very private group. Even when Oyada Sensei came out with the Kyusho and he was publicly demonstrating it, we can see that he only had a small private group. It wasn't a big international organization, or he didn't try to spread it around the world. He wanted to keep it for his people, and he wasn't into the pressure points either, but that's another topic for another day. So the cycles, yes, we played with them. We were taught that this was the mechanism after we had started with the medical approach, and then it quickly changed over to the TCM model because it seemed that there was more money in the marketing and more money in the stringing people along, having to learn this hard theory and memorize a whole bunch of crapola. Anyway, I also was a healer before I was a martial practitioner of the Kyusho. But even now, I don't practice these cycles for the healing. It's a or myofascial approach, okay? And you're just releasing tensions on the muscles, which release tensions on the nerves, which increases the fluid circulation of your body. From the lymphs to the neurological transmission to blood flow to everything. And so, yeah, working the points is still feasible if you're doing healing like Tuina or Shiatsu. And acupuncture, of course. But for martial aspects, we found out early on, well, I found out early on that it wasn't the working mechanism. And the reason was, in my videotapes, I used to go along with that theory, okay? And we found out that, even if we missed a couple of the first points, if we slugged the third target well, the guy went down anyway, so it didn't matter whether we missed. And then we started adopting policies. Okay, let's try non-cycles. Okay, and it's hard to find a non-cycle, by the way, because they've got an answer for everything. They got the fire, the metal, they got the elemental cycles, they got the yin, the yang cycles, the mother-father, the sister-daughter, you name it, they got it. So we started experimenting more with single points as Kyusho dysfunctional properties or knockouts, and they work just fine. Then we started putting into combative use with sparring early on, and elevating into many other combative uses, and it works so much better to just be single target oriented. So there the cycles go out the window, the use for TCM goes out the window. Then we found through consistent training in combatives that even though our accuracy was at pinpoint, it was still working. All right, so we didn't need to be pinpoint specific on a pressure point. And that got us to really thinking, okay, are these even pressure points at all? And from there, it just evolved, and we kept doing studies with the doctors, as I've said many times, the scientists of all different disciplines. And we're finding what the true underlying reasons are the Kyusho works. And for the most part, do you really need to know it? No, you don't. You don't have to know the name of the nerve. You don't have to know anything other than hit here like this. It hurts. They fall down. You win. Okay, that's the basic principle that we adopt now. I personally like to know what's going on behind it, because then I can advance it. All right, if you understand the underlying mechanisms, then you can develop, you can create, you can investigate further what are possible options for you. Okay, and that's how I've worked through it. But again, it's not necessary in combative use. You hit the person here like this, they fall down. That's the whole basis. So I don't put any value on pressure points anymore. I don't put any value on the elemental theories or the other cycles of acupuncture, because I don't believe it's the working mechanism. Now here's another thing. I've been working well over a decade without pressure points, okay, and I seem to be getting better skilled at this art. And I'm not saying I'm great or anything, I'm just saying my skill level is increasing. The people that I teach, their skill level is increasing faster than mine did. All right, and why? Is it because we're teaching them the pressure points? No, it's because we're teaching them real anatomy and how to get to them. So I don't place any value on the pressure points. I don't place any value on the cycles that you're asking, Jacob. So I hope this answers your question. I hope it doesn't ruffle too many feathers, but I can only tell you what I find is the truth and what's working better for me and what's working better for the people in my group. We have over 10,000 people in our group in over 45 countries. So we're getting a great validation back from all different aspects and all different parts of the globe, and different mentalities, different martial arts, different ways of looking at things. And yes, our old instructors are still working with the pressure points because it's a hard thing to break. So many people believe in the pressure points. So if you're in a seminar, every once in a while, I'll still throw out a pressure point name, because you tell them you hit here, and they're saying where, and you point to it. You just place your finger right on the spot, and they wince a little bit, and they say, so where is that? And I don't know what they're asking for except for what the pressure point is. So I'll just throw out a pressure point name, okay? And they smile and they nod and they're happy. Okay, so yeah, I still talk about them once in a while, but man, I don't believe in it. Okay, and here's another thing. If I've been getting better with my skill and everybody else has been getting on a better learning curve, studying not the pressure points, but the combative principles of the nerve attacks, the blood attacks, then why would I ever go back? Okay, it just doesn't make sense. And if I'm not using them and it's still working, so what's the value of the point? Okay, that's the point. Thanks for asking the question, Jacob. I'll get back to you soon. Take care.